Welcome back to my channel, Over the Hill Fitness. Dr. Ram Crespo back at you with another edition of a lean and green recipe demonstration. Thank you to those that have been following my journey so far. I'm almost at my 1 year anniversary of my health journey. I did start on Christmas Day of 22 and we are on Christmas break now, moving into Christmas of 23. So those of y'all that have been following me all the way through this year, you have seen the transformation. It has been a blessing. It has been amazing. For those of y'all that are wanting to start your own health journey, reach out to me. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. If you're new to my channel, make sure you click on subscribe. Go ahead and click on the like button. Also leave a comment and click on that ringer bell so you can be notified of upcoming content on Over the Hill Fitness. For those of y'all that are not familiar with the program that I'm on the Optavia 5-in-1 Optimal Weight program. And what that is you order 5 fuelings that you eat each day. That's what you get in your monthly box every month. And then you have your 1 lean and green that you prepare every day on your own. You do that for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast, whatever works for your schedule. And so those 6 meals you spread out in 2 to 3 hour increments. And that's what gets you to optimal weight loss in this awesome program, and you learn some great things along the way. So if you have questions about the program, just leave a comment. I'd love to reach out to you and show you how this program works, as it has been a blessing for me and my family. So what we're going to be doing today, we're doing one of my favorite lean and green meals. I didn't know I loved spaghetti squash, but man, they have so many things that you can do with spaghetti squash, and it is just amazing because, you know, during the weight loss phase of this program, you can't have pasta, and everybody loves pasta, but this is a great supplement for pasta, spaghetti squash. So if you have not tried it, you have to try it. So hopefully you love this recipe. Let's go ahead and get started. So the spaghetti squash that we're going to be making today is called the cheesy Mexican spaghetti squash casserole. Normally they do it with chicken, but I'm going to be using lean ground beef instead. I'm going to be making 2 servings, so we're going to be using a medium-sized spaghetti squash here, and you'll just cut that in 2. We're going to cut it down the middle this way so we can get 2 bowls, 2 boats of spaghetti squash on there, and we'll show you how to do that in just a second. But some of the other ingredients you're going to need is some rotel. You're going to need some Laughing Cow cheese wedges. I'm going to be using the spicy pepper jack for this particular recipe, but you can use whichever one you want. You also need to have a low sodium taco seasoning. So we're using this one that we got at HEB, as well as some reduced fat shredded Mexican cheese for this recipe. All right, so first thing that we're gonna do, make sure you preheat the oven at 400. And so get that ready. And while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up the spaghetti squash here. I like to stick it in the microwave for about a minute just to kind of soften it up, because it can be a little difficult just to cut it down the middle. And just like that, I'm going to enter the knife all the way down the middle and slowly cut it down the middle as much as I can. I don't want to lose the shape because it's going to make some pretty bowls there. So try to get it down there. Probably could have stuck it in the microwave a little bit longer to soften it up a little bit more. But just try your best just to get it even. Just be careful because this is a very sharp knife, and try to get it cut down even. Look at that. Very nice. So the next step is going to be to spoon out the insides of this part of the spaghetti squash. So we'll do that next. All right. So just spoon it out, taking out the seeds and the extra little strands that it has here until that middle part is pretty smooth. And then we're gonna stick the rest of it in the oven. And you can just, once you scoop it out, just stick it in the trash because you're not gonna use it. It gets a little messy. Just try to get it out. And don't worry about the little spaghetti strands that are in the middle because you're gonna have a whole lot more once it is cooked. Almost there. Look at that. All right. I think that about does that. I don't see any more of the seeds in there. Let's take out a little bit more of the string, just a little bit, just the ones that are in there, because you're going to get a lot more once it is cooked. All right, that'll do. We're going to do the same thing to the other one, and then we'll move on to the next step. There you go. They are ready for baking. So I'm just going to spray it down with a little bit of avocado oil. You can also do olive oil, just a little bit, about a tablespoon, and just rub it in on each one. And then we're going to stick it on a baking sheet, which is on some parchment paper. Then we're going to stick it in the oven. Remember, the oven has heated up for 400, and we're going to stick it in there for 40 minutes. So let's go ahead and transfer it over to a baking sheet. All right, here is the baking pan with parchment paper, and you're gonna put them upside down onto the baking pan before you put it into the oven. And remember, 400 for 40 minutes. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, and while the spaghetti squash is cooking in the oven, we're just gonna cook up the ground beef. I already added the diced rotel tomatoes. And just kind of break that apart till the meat is brown. Just breaking that up a little bit. Spread the tomatoes around. We're going to drain the juice out of it once it's done. Go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of the low sodium taco seasoning. Remember, we're doing 2 servings. Just mix that up. Smells amazing. Same time, just breaking up the ground beef so you have good portions. That's a lot of meat. A lot of meat. And that is the good thing about this program. You're still eating good. You're eating healthy. And you're learning different recipes on how to cook healthy, but still eating high quality meals. What I love so much about this program. I was not a cook before I started, but man, I love learning these new recipes. I can read directions better. than most, I would say. My wife says I have become a professional cook, but I am not a professional by any means. I just read directions real well. And I love for things to taste good. So that is cooking up nicely. So next we're going to add the Laughing Cow cheese to the mix. Just kind of mix that around until it's melted. Just spread it around. Give you that creamy texture for this awesome, awesome recipe. If you have not had spaghetti squash, it is one of our favorites now. It is filling, tastes good, it adapts to whatever flavor you add to it. I've made Alfredo, like an enchilada bowl. We made it with shrimp. Spaghetti squash is amazing. So hopefully, if you haven't done it, you'll do it after this recipe, and you'll just keep wanting to do more, because we do at least one recipe a week with our spaghetti squash, and we just love it because it's such a big portion. It tastes so awesome. Look at that. That's amazing. All right, on to the next step. All right, so the next part, took it out of the oven. It's been 40 minutes. I'll let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes because it comes out extremely hot. I'm just gonna flip them over and we let them sit for 5 or 10 minutes just to cool down just a little bit, because like I said, it's extremely hot. It's still steaming even after letting it sit. And so then we're just going to go ahead and scrape out the spaghetti squash from inside. That comes out real easy. So it's still very, very hot. But not as hot as it was when I first took it out, so it's a little easier. I like to keep it all in there. I like to make the little boats. Some people will scrape it all the way out and just put it on a plate. You can do that if you want. But I think the fun part is leaving it inside and just putting the mixture on top. And I'll show you what that looks like soon. Just try to get all the way down there, get as much of that spaghetti squash as you can. Look at that. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's a great green for this awesome program for your Lean&Green. We're going to do the same thing to this other one, and I'll let you see what it looks like in just a second. All right, these are ready. We're going to go ahead and transfer over the meat. Remember, it's 2 servings. It's a lot of meat, guys, but it is so good. So, so good. And just even it out. Spread it out as much as possible. Remember, I'm leaving mine on there, but you can put it on a plate if you want to, if that makes your dish better for you. But I like to put it on here because I'm going to stick it back in the oven once I top it with some cheese so it'll melt. And you're going to see what the final product looks like. So, so amazing, this dish. Pretty much all these spaghetti squash dishes are just to die for. All right, I'm bringing this one over. Ooh, that one kind of fell over. Bring it back in. And so each half of the spaghetti squash is 1 serving. I know I didn't even them up as much. So I'm gonna put some over on this one here. Look at that. Look at that. Now we're gonna top that off with some reduced fat Mexican cheese. And we're gonna stick it back in the oven for about 7 to 10 minutes. So I didn't turn off the oven after I took it out just for that reason. And spread that out. All right, I'll bring it back to the oven. Let you see what it looks like when it's done. 7 to 10 minutes. All right, look at that. Oh, so good. Smells amazing. Now my favorite part, the taste test. Here it comes. All right, such a big portion, so healthy, so delicious, just amazing. I mean, look at this thing. Whew. So good, so good. All right, here we go. Cheesy. Just look at that. Make sure you get some of the spaghetti squash. Look at that steaming, it's hot. Boom! That is awesome. Make sure you try this recipe. Love that spaghetti squash. So, so delicious. Got to get me another one. You can eat this every day almost, just changing up the different recipes, the meat, the mixes, the spices, the sauces. So good. Leave a comment. Let me know how it turns out for you. Sorry, turns out for you. And let me know if you want me to try anything else, whether it's a lean and green recipe, a fueling hack. I want to help you guys out. You're helping me out through my journey. Let's do this. As always, it's a great day to be alive. It's a great time to hold each other accountable. If someone hasn't told you lately, you matter. Believe in the possibilities of being great. Treat each other the way you want to be treated, and never be satisfied, as there's always an opportunity to be a better version of yourself. Have a great rest of the day, and see you soon.